What's the joke?
Okay, so Ella goes, I don't want to go ham today. And I said, go ham today, don't be a turkey.
God, you see what I have to deal with here? So these are two of the big things I take every day. Vitamin D3. I usually would take this daily, but recently I've been on a regimen to recoup, kind of get back to normal levels. So I take 50,000 IUs once a week, and then after 6 weeks of that, I go back to 10,000 IUs a day. And then this I take every day for liver because I take hormones, including testosterone. I always want to make sure my liver's doing well, so I take these every day. Both these. This website, I love this website. Get all my supplements from there. But yeah, these are my two go-tos. Tell me you live in San Antonio without telling me you live in San Antonio. So as I'm sitting here in traffic and trying to get to the gym, there was a conversation I had today with a patient that was really like a great experience. And it just made me think, some patients and some people, honestly, they need permission to move and feel good. Now that sounds kind of silly, but this patient had been in physical therapy before for knee pain that she had, and she had some improvement, but never got fully resolved. Had kind of gotten into that fear avoidance pattern where scared to do anything, was catastrophized with basically all movement with her knee, getting out of a chair, going up and down stairs, just basic daily living activities. And I could see this sense of fear, eagerness. She's very eager, super enthusiastic, but sense of fear with activity. And so one of the things she mentioned she had trouble with was getting in and out of a chair and also stairs. And so I brought out a step stool and had her try to step onto the step stool, and she felt pain with that. And so I got a lower stool that was maybe 2 inches tall, a lower platform, and had her step up onto that. And she was able to do that with no pain. And so when we celebrated that small step up. And when I put the small step next to the step stool, the difference in height was only about 4 inches. And so when she could visualize and see, I was like, I showed her, I said, you see how small of a gap, now that you can see it, how small of a gap from the small step to the big step. Visually, it seemed big. She was terrified for this step stool. But then when I showed her how close they were in height and said, we're only that far away, it was this aha moment where we laughed. He said, it's not as big of a difference as you think. And so then I asked her, do you think it's feasible that if we started at this 2-inch step up and we're able to work up an inch every couple of days, does it seem feasible that now that step stool would be completely no problem to do? And she said, yeah, absolutely. And the excitement and just the confidence in her face was just so awesome. And it just filled my heart up. And sometimes that's all people really need, is just that easy visualization of you're a lot closer to your goals than you think you are, and that confidence in themselves to see, hey, this is something that I can do. This is something that's completely achievable. And they just kind of need permission to be able to move. They need permission to work towards the goals that they have without necessarily having that fear. And a lot of times it's just as easy as making a connection between what they can't do and what they can do, and just creating small little steps between them. And so I thought that was a really awesome experience for her. She's super excited, and I can't wait to see how well she does. What's up, champ?
In the life. Stay in the life. Hey y'all, this is Travis. I'm giving variation.
What are we working on?
Squat cleans, and jerks.
You're a jerk.
I know.
What set are you on?
The first one.
Wonderful.
Well, set 2.
Well, let's see it.
If not, maybe put a 25-pound weight on that. And that 25-pound weight, you got to
if you go back and watch your first clean, and then your second clean.
First one should be a hang.
So watch this. Okay.
I had to
And
double
then,
check it.
and then watch that one.
Deeper?
So it wasn't that it was deeper, it was that your confidence dropping into the catch was better on the second one. So if you watch the first one, you kind of catch it and you ride it down. Right, so here, and you ride it down. With the same weight on the second one, boom, you hit the bottom. Like you went straight into it. So on that hang, typically the hang we should have lighter weight, so you should be able to move it faster and more confident. So on this next round, try to feel that same drop confidence as you do on the full clean. Cool.
Okay.
But the clean and all of them look good. The jerk looked really solid. But yeah, just try to feel that from the hang. Get that drop speed. Cool. Better. There you go. So today's workout has muscle ups, which when I was early starting in CrossFit, I learned bar muscle ups before ring muscle ups. So ring muscle ups always became a bigger challenge. So I could do bar muscle ups, but I know that I need to work on ring muscle ups. So that's what we're going to do, even if it's just 1 or 2 reps. I know. But before I do anything big on shoulders, I like to use this system to warm my shoulders up. It's similar to the crossover symmetry program. This one's called 4-Core. It's a veteran-owned company, so I like to support them. And honestly, it's priced a whole lot better. So what I'll do is I tend to go through a routine with these bands. Using this, basically the premise behind it is we're trying to fire every muscle that has anything to do with shoulder mechanics. So you'll see a lot of scap retraction. There's some protraction. So with these, we're working on pulling back, feeling that shoulder blade squeeze back. I'm doing that both sides. A lot of the movements are scapula, shoulder blade, plus rotator cuff. Then we transition into a lat, like long arm lat squeeze. So pulling back and squeezing, trying to get a good squeeze for a couple of seconds, which my left shoulder tends to be a little naggy because I tore my pec in college. So this left shoulder tends to be a little bit unstable. But just by working with this for a few days, it'll get my shoulder feeling a whole lot better. But it also gets me warm for workouts. Even when my shoulders are feeling good, I'll still usually go through this warm up just to make sure that I'm primed for the movements and so that I don't risk re-irritating or aggravating something. When I'm doing these, like right now, this W to Y, as I'm trying to rotate, it feels really pinchy. And so I'll try to find a comfortable spot. As I do more, it'll start to loosen up where it feels less uncomfortable. If I get a few reps in and it's still just feeling really pinchy, I usually just add a pec stretch just to stretch out some of that scar tissue. And then when I jump back into that WY, then it'll typically feel less pinchy. W position, Y position. Feels a little bit better, not quite gone all the way. So my ace in the hole is I'll get back into my pec stretch, and then what I'll do is actually do an active lift off to kind of pre-fire those external rotators in this position. And then typically, after just a few reps of that, if I go back to my WY, yeah, that feels way better. So now I'm not limited by the discomfort. I can actually get a bigger squeeze and get those exercises done. Okay. I'm going to go through an activation drill for ring muscle ups. that really gets my shoulders feeling that really important piece that a lot of athletes miss, and that's a pullback. Very different mechanics. The strict, you want to pull, knuckles to chest and kind of pull through. But with the kipping ring muscle up, you actually want to pull back momentarily before you bring your hands down to your hips. So there's an exercise I like to do just to get that motion primed. We're going to do that next. If you watch slow-mo videos of people that are really good at ring muscle ups, they'll yank the rings back momentarily to create some momentum to help turn over. So we can drill that from here with a hip drive and then a fast pull to that overhead position. So we're here, we go hips pull. And you should get some slack in that strap. So again, big hips, pull. Once you've gone through a couple of those, and you really feel like you're getting that weightless point, then we'll just go from that overhead position and we're gonna rip our hands down to our pockets. So we go here. And again, hips, hands. So I think hips, hands, hips. We're gonna keep working a few more of those just to make sure that everything's warm so that when we get up on the rings, we're ready for that specific piece of that movement. Truth be told, I really do not like this exercise. Almost. Yeah, this is not comfortable. Wouldn't recommend this for everyone. Oh, man. But if you can get into it, and it doesn't cause your shoulders to scream at you, it's a pretty aggressive shoulder and spine opener.
We're gonna start in about 1 minute.
Usually go through a few reps. Uh-oh. I missed Sarah say that we gotta run. So getting some scap pull-ups. So keeping the arms straight, feeling all the movement through shoulder blades. So in beat swings, kind of like a kip swing, but without as much explosive movement. So thinking more like a less explosive kip swing.
I want you guys to find somewhere
Less explosive.
These old things? I was gonna wear that shirt.
So a kip would be bigger, more power to get momentum, but still just warming up. Samson lunge. It's a forward lunge. Lean. It's a hip flexor. Shoulders lats. When you're doing these, make sure your shoulder blades are coming with your arm instead of just moving your arms above shoulders and shoulder blade. So I do like these a lot. Kind of like a version of a Cossack lunge or Cossack squat, which Cossack squats are probably in my top 3 best movements to get ready. Definitely like squatting for sure, but whenever you do these, be careful if it's bugging your knee. Like stay low and support yourself, but if you can lift up and push through, great exercise.
So I wonder if you could figure this out for me and tell me if I think doing level 3 is probably not the best day.
If you're going to be doing that big of sets, you want to think like 70% or below. You shouldn't think I'm going to hold on for 15 hang squat and cleans.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you should think like I'm going to do 3 sets of 5 at most, and then like 3 sets of 4. When you have rep scheme over like 10, like 11 plus, your weight should be 70% of your 1 rep max. This is kind of just like a good general rule of thumb. Okay. 70% or less, and only less if you're already so smoked that you can't hold on to 70%. If you're feeling smoked with 75, do the highest weight you can do where you feel like you can hold on for 5 reps.
Okay.
And then break. You don't want to turn into singles.
So I guess test it on the first one.
Yeah. Or run a trial run before you do it.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. It's supposed to be an EMOM with 20 seconds of work before. So honestly, like if I can get 1 per round, I feel like that's going to be a good place to start. So let's just see how this first one goes. All right. That didn't feel too terrible. Let's see if we can speed up that snappy pullback. And last time we had these, I couldn't get any. So something I have to work on. All right, that felt better. Stupid transition. Like just one to the next.
Oh yeah.
That's all. Like I feel like I can get a single.
Mine, I'll catch it. It's just the extra kip from the tricep dip.
Yeah.
I'm muscling it.
Were you trying to front kip or back kip?
I'm trying to figure out what one.
There you go. So there's like that's like back kip, back kip. So come up, feet kip up. Versus if you catch low and you wait,
Yeah.
to kip up. So if you're thinking in your head, kick this way, try to feel that back kip. Yeah. If you get to those higher reps where you feel stuck, then wait and try to front kip. But your natural instinct is back. Exercising humility for sure when got to move it and coach, but not really that great at doing. But that's the name of the game, right? Constant improvement or constant effort. Come on, Lee. I always want to square my distance. Those last couple felt good. Let's see if we can put two of them together. All right.
2, 1.
Second one was. And this, I think I was trying to control the free fall in the second one too much, and it made it.
Yeah.
It got me out of sitting too wide.
Not a lot, but just more than your first.
Okay. Sarah, on the press out or on the catch?
As in the catch, you weren't as close.
On the first one?
The second.
Second one, okay.
The first one.
Okay. Really good feedback of getting out too wide. Better? So when I'm doing these step overs or jump overs, I like to face the same side so I don't get dizzy. So instead of spinning to the same direction, stay to the same side. Kind of like a quarter turn versus spinning in circles. God, this is so high. Hit that weight.
You can hold it however you want. It isn't a suitcase on the arm.
20 wall balls, 20 box jump overs, and then 10 single step overs. So every 4 minutes, the goal is to try to get it around 2 minutes per round, so you have 2 minutes of rest. Gotta hold this thing. It feels awkward. All right, final round. Final time. Shit. A suitcase step over. That suck. Good job, gentlemen.
Sorry, I missed that. Really no makeup day.
Good job. You did great today. Good job today. Oh, how was that, AJ? Yeah, let's do it again.
Kind of play between body weight and assisting with the leg.
Oh, look at that. So AJ was working on his muscle ups and he was going up too wide. So his grip was way out here, which makes you almost default to a pull up. In a muscle up, you want your grip to be more closer to the width of your shoulders versus out wide like a pull up. So when you go narrow, like in the same grip as a toes to bar versus a pull up, then you get more of that lat pull, drives your hips up, makes your bar muscle ups easier. But after today's workout, I'm gonna roll my lats out because they're really tight and try to stretch that overhead arch position. Felt kind of stiff for the first few ring muscle ups. So I'm gonna roll these out, work on that overhead reach, left side mostly. But after that, we'll call it a day.